I didn't go to law school for math.
Welcome to Wow If True, the podcast of your wildest memes.
We're your one-stop internet culture shop, here to dissect what's going viral, why we care, and how this might affect our real human lives. I'm your Shirley Jackson Award winner, Isabel.
I'm your proud friend, Amanda. Anyone could be famous on the internet, so why not us?
So that's the last time I'm going to mention that, but if you guys have been listening, that did happen. So if you guys were dying to know if I won, and I didn't expect it, and that's okay.
I think it's very fun that you won, and then, because we talked on the last episode about how it was Schrodinger's award, you didn't know if you'd won or not, you had to record, a weird video that you felt weird about being like, hey, I won, and it's weird to record a victory video when you don't know if you won or not, but I wonder if they only ask the winners to do that, but then they would... Do you know other people that were nominated?
I do, but in the way that I know people on Twitter... not in real life.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was really experiencing this when I went to the Wizard Bar, aka Fantastic Fiction at KGB Bar this Wednesday, where I really think of a writer as something online and not a thing in real life because I mostly started writing over the pandemic. When I started writing seriously over the pandemic. So now when I see writers in real life, I really don't know how to interact with them because I don't have any social skills that aren't trained. So a lot of these people are actual writers who are sorry, I'm just talking about my life, but they're actual writers who are adults and not adults we're adults. Adults adults.
Damn, who are you calling not an adult? I went to yoga this morning.
Okay, adults I'm not an adult, I guess, because I didn't go to yoga this morning. I lay in bed reading fan fiction about Batman. On that note...
On that note, we're not going to talk about Batman, but we're going to talk about Ratman.
That sucks so bad.
So...
I like that. Okay.
Yes, we have the Rat Man, Alex Cohen, creator of the hashtag #RatVerified trend, here with us to talk about the only good symbol of verification on Twitter, the rat.
So, Rat Verified.
I'm Rat Verified forever, which means that because I am a blue check, right now I am not allowed to edit my username because Elon Musk is angry at everybody. And as is our MO on the podcast currently, we're not going to talk about all of the insane policy stuff that Elon Musk is doing and how he's, defying the FTC because apparently he's just not afraid of the government because he puts rockets into space. Instead, we're going to talk about the stupidest things that are happening on Twitter, one of which is that we're all rat verified, and we have Alex Cohen with us, who brought us the beauty of the rat. Hello, Alex.
Hello, thank you for having me, and I'm just so glad that you're going to be rat verified forever. I think it's really a blessing.
This is the funniest possible thing that could have happened. So, for those who don't know, basically, Alex had a viral tweet that was I'm not giving Elon Musk $8 to be verified, let's just all be rat verified and put rats in our display names. And I did it, because I was this is funny, okay, cool. But now I can't change my display name anymore. So
wait, so question. So being rat verified is literally just you put a rat emoji by your name and now you're rat verified because being verification is nothing, and at least this way you get a cool rat and you don't have to pay $8. Is this the bit?
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent.
But it's also, being verified under the paying system, it sort of signals you paid for Twitter. Being rat verified, it signals that you're a real person who didn't pay for Twitter.
Yeah. You are still combating spam just like Elon Musk wants.
Exactly.
Oh wait, I get it, because you're a real person who put a rat in their name because I see. This actually kind of makes sense.
The bots aren't putting the rats in their names. I guess they could, but...
Ratbot 9000.
So, to back up a little bit, what was the origin of this? Did you just kind of make a shit post and then people liked it and now here we are?
Oh, absolutely. I was walking out of class. I thought, hey, let's make a shit post, let's make a stupid tweet. And, the general idea came to me, but there was no specific reason for the rat. It was just sort of what's a good emoji? Let's pick a rat. And I think the symbolism has worked out well, but it wasn't an intentional decision in any way.
So the rat came to you. It's not the rat chose you, you didn't choose the rat.
Yeah, exactly. A sign from above, from rat heaven.
A sign from below the streets.
So, this went viral. It was the #1 trending topic in the US. There was a New York Times article, everyone is simply loving the rats. Did I make this up, or did PETA, like, reach out to you, or...
they they didn't reach out. They did make a tweet where
Okay.
they used hashtag rat verified and then listed a bunch of real facts about rats and then a link to stop testing on rats, which is like, I don't want to support rat testing, but that has nothing to do with this at all.
Okay, I think this is going to be a through line in the episode because later we're going to talk about the guy who ate 40 rotisserie chickens. And in prepping for the show, I did do a little bit of research, and apparently PETA is trying to challenge him to go vegan. And he's like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just living my life. Like, I'm going to eat less meat now because I ate so much and I'm tired of it. But I don't know. So I think PETA's really, like, on the internet culture beat right now.
But they're, like, not good at it is the thing. Like, I think that's PETA's thing, where they will latch on to any time someone mentions an animal and be like, yo, you know, you should stop eating that. And it's like, my brother in Christ, we're talking about Twitter.
Yeah, we're talking about rats. But, I mean, I think it's funny that, like, I wasn't surprised that you were the person behind rat verification because we've crossed internet paths a lot over the years. This is I think, the second time I am interviewing you, the first time being in, like, 2015 because of the Facebook group Post Aesthetics. And, like, I feel like you're just someone that has a knack for, like, shit posting in a very nuanced, refined way.
An elite poster, if you will.
You are an elite poster.
I think we need to actually take a step.
I will take that as a great compliment.
Yeah.
I think we need to take a step back. Alex, who are you? Yeah. We never introduced you.
Fair point.
I mean, you don't need to know anything. It's just that he's the rat guy. But no.
In the real world, beyond the internet, in my day life, I'm a graduate student at UC Davis. I study political science. But in the depths of the internet, I make the webcomic Tiny Snack Comics. So it's sort of, I have termed it as, comics about tiny animals and political justice. It's sort of a mishmash amalgamation of very weird stuff and very lefty political stuff. But I've sort of refined it over the last few years, and I think there's a pretty committed base who really enjoy it. But then on Twitter, I sort of use my Twitter as a personal account for much more shitpostiness, and that has sort of paid off right now.
Yeah, and then with Tiny Snake Comics, we have a mutual friend, Chase, who was on the podcast before because of Length Book. I have not said that out loud in so long. And Chase has the Tiny Snake comic board game, and we played it, and it was fun, and there were a lot of cute drawings of snakes.
Amazing. Yeah, I spent a lot of time on those drawings.
They were good. There were, I mean, I don't think this is a part of the game necessarily, but after each round, we would all just be like, okay, now everybody show what snake you are, and then there's just, like, snakes doing all sorts of things, like karaoke snake, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I drew those, like, 5 years ago at this point, so even I don't remember what
I
they
played
are,
the game one time, like, 3
yeah.
months ago, but I remember it was a fun time, and it was very fun to look at the snakes.
That's what I like to hear.
I feel like what I'm learning from this is that the network of posters on the internet is a tight circle.
So I have a theory that really all of the content on the internet is maybe made by like 1,000 people. Like it's like a very small group of people that are actually posting, and everyone else is just reposting.
Oh, wait, okay. I can go one further. in this. It's just one guy who's moving really fast.
Damn.
It's the rat controlling everyone.
It's the rat.
You know, there's also kind of like a Ratatouille reference. I'm really close reading The Rat. As I said before, I had encountered your existence because in my days as a baby internet culture journalist, before I kind of knew that internet culture journalism was a thing, I was a college student freelancing and thought it was extremely funny and interesting the way in which the Facebook group Post Aesthetics just completely imploded because, like, one guy ran a script that just deleted all the members one by one. And then there were multiple splinter groups, and then you were one of the admins of one of the splinter groups that is still active in a very, like, weirdly sincere way, where I think these days, like, every year there's a post where you write a note to yourself in the previous year. And I've done it for, like, years, and there's, like, notes where I'm like, I hope next year this thing worked out, and then the next year comes around, and I'm like, I don't even remember what that thing was, but I guess I was really stressed about it. And then also there was a post where we were trying to count to 69,420, but then the person that made the post deleted their Facebook, so then we had to start over, and we were pretty far.
That was
That
a
was-
sad
How
day.
far did you guys get?
I feel like,
I think it was in the 10,000.
Oh, shit.
Like it was and it was like each comment had to be in numerical order.
Jesus, you guys are really doing good shit on the internet.
yeah, it was a good time.
So I think it's actually very kind of fitting that the last time we crossed paths formally was for the post aesthetics article, because there's a lot of similarity between post aesthetics implosion because of the power of the people at the top going crazy and what's happening on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then me sort of shit posting my way through the
And you
And
know
then-
what we call that? Foreshadowing.
Yes, and then me being like, how can I get paid to engage with the shit posting? I'm playing the long con where I'm just like, shit posting is fun, but what if I got money for it? We didn't plan to talk about this, but now this is coming up for me. There was a golden age of Facebook meme groups that I think we are now past. Do you have any thoughts about like why that is? Like why was there this moment in like 2014, 15, 16ish where Facebook meme groups were all the rage, particularly like leftist meme groups among like college students?
Yeah, it's like very like leftist, like almost what I would call like postmodern, almost like Dadaist shitposting
Yeah.
in a lot of these groups.
Yeah. You know, I feel like the energy that a lot of people poured into those Facebook groups, I don't really know why they died. I think it probably has something to do with just Facebook not being a popular platform and Meta sort of just ruining everything they built with their terrible
Yeah.
algorithms. But I think a lot of that energy kind of got funneled over to Twitter, because I know that whenever I had a funny thought, like 2015 to 2017, I would go to one of the weird Facebook meme groups and I would just type it up and send it off, and there'd be a lot of people using it, and I'd sort of feel like, yeah, I'm engaging with a community of people. But as people stopped using the website, that wasn't as fun just because people weren't engaging. And so I think I shifted that energy to just posting on Twitter, because there's a wider audience there who can see the shit posting, and I feel like that weird chaotic energy very much exists on Twitter.
Yeah, I do remember too. I did have like a phase where we would just tweet, or not tweet. See, I just said tweet, but like we would just kind of like post dumb shit in post aesthetics or whatever. And then it was like a big deal if you got like thousands of likes on a post in post aesthetics.
There was a day in Rach Aesthetics, this post aesthetic successor, where it was Google Day, and so everyone was just basically posting as if they were tweeting and they were Googling just random terms. And there were like thousands of posts in the group, and I'm sure it was annoying for people who didn't want that in their feed. But like that was just using a Facebook group like tweeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my webcomic also sort of spawned because of the audience within post aesthetics. So that, you know, that pathway is very much there.
Okay, I'm going to put together a theory, and I think the theory is that, so people stop using a site because it gets unwieldy and hard to use, and because there's nobody on that site, then people stop posting, and it's like kind of like just a cycle of stopping using this site and migrating to a new site. And like, I think we're talking about what happened to Facebook after the golden age of posting, but now we're kind of also talking about what's happening to Twitter now, where it's like, as the site gets more unusable, people stop using the site, etc. Theoretically, that's what everyone says is happening to Twitter. I feel like it's a lot of like people loving to shitpost and maybe not actually moving from Twitter, but you know, there are some comparisons, parallels.
Yeah, I think the problem is there's not really a place to go from Twitter. Like there's some people are going to Mastodon. I haven't checked it out yet. It seems very confusing. Maybe it's easier to use than I think. But there's not like a really good website for just posting text and just sharing words, even if they're really dumb words. Instagram is like so photo dependent. I just want to write silly sentences.
Can I offer you Tumblr in this trying time? No, because it's actually been really interesting, because I've been on Tumblr for like way longer than I should, despite also having a Twitter. And Tumblr's reaction to Twitter imploding has been so funny. Because they're like, oh shit, we gotta post cringe to keep people out. But there's also been a long, like, Tumblr is like the successor to LiveJournal in a lot of ways, where it's long form posting and just like posting text has always been just a big part of the site's culture, especially after the porn ban. So I don't think it's a successor to Twitter, because I think the culture is extremely different, and I think people want stuff from Tumblr that's different to Twitter. But can I offer you Tumblr in this trying time? You can get double verified there. You can get 2 blue check marks.
This is true, but can I get double rat verified?
Shit. You can have crabs. How do you feel about crabs?
Yeah, Because you can't put an emoji in your display name on Tumblr, so it's fucked up.
Deal breaker.
You can get double verified and you can get crabs. You can get 24 blue check marks after your name. You can get crabs. That's all I've got to offer on this site.
I wrote like a beginner's guide to Mastodon. Like, honestly, everybody's gonna be Googling how to use Mastodon, and I understand technology, so I can write something, and then I'll get a fuck ton of traffic, and then the corporate overlords will be happy with me. So that's what I did, and it did get a lot of traffic. But I don't really see Mastodon as, like, a solution. I think it's a cool network. It has its own problems. I think it's cool that it's a nonprofit social media network, because I think social media platforms being for-profit has gotten us into a lot of issues, but then also, if you're a nonprofit, then it's hard to make money, and it's hard to, like, implement a better user experience, and I think that's the issue with Mastodon, is that it's very, very confusing. It kind of is reminiscent of, like, the old internet days of, like, dial-up, in a sense, even though I wasn't even on the internet then, but that's
like
kind of the vibe I get.
Yeah, I feel like the thing that really appeals to me on Twitter is that even though it's a hell site and it's got a whole bunch of issues, it's just one community, and your terrible tweets can be seen by everyone on that community given the chance.
Yeah, as happened with Rat Verified.
Exactly.
It's kind of interesting because I feel like we've been moving as an internet culture in two directions as simultaneously, where you have like the TikTok direction, right, where it's all algorithmically generated and you never actually really see what you want to see, but the site will pull from everything to show you what it thinks you want to see. But then on the other end of the spectrum, you have like the walled gardens of like Discord servers and stuff like that. And I think a lot of like posting has moved to like Discord servers because people like the immediate feedback, and you're getting, even if it's a smaller group, you're getting immediate feedback from like basically just like a text chat rather than like posting it and hoping that people see it.
Yeah, this all kind of makes me want to go back to Facebook meme groups, because in the same way that like Mastodon is decentralized and there's like individual servers and you kind of have to like join individual servers, but then you can contact people on any server. I mean, not that Facebook groups are decentralized, because they're all centralized under Facebook, a very for-profit company that is very badly run. My favorite joke on Twitter this week is that it's funny that Facebook laying off 11,000 people is the third biggest tech news story of the week, because it's just been such an insane week.
What's the second biggest one?
FTX exploding.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, there's something special about just kind of like posting dumb shit on Facebook. And then I also wonder how the like, no one's really anonymous on Facebook. Like, I think some people made accounts solely to use in meme groups, but I mean, that's how I met Chase, our friend, who Chase and I went to the same college and lived a block away from each other, but then we only knew each other on meme groups, and then suddenly was like, hey, how come we have 200 mutual friends? And then we figured out that we went to the same school and lived a block away from each other, and then became friends and are still friends in real life. I don't know, there was kind of like an underground of like the shit posters at certain colleges, like at that time. And then we had the like, there was like a pen squirrel catching meme group that was a big deal for a bit and now doesn't exist. I don't know.
And even once college ended and sort of that goal, I think maybe that is a big part of why it ended, why the golden age of post aesthetics, rage aesthetics went away, because all the people posting in it were in college, and then they stopped being in college and stopped having the hours of free time to be posting. But like I've made a whole bunch of real life friends from those groups. And I do think, like, you know, there's that power of anonymity on Twitter, but like when you're seeing shit posts from people that like you vaguely do know, even if it's in like a community of tens of thousands of people, it is, I feel like, more special.
Yeah.
I would definitely be down to return to that Facebook community.
Okay, but hey, let's not get crazy here. Let's not advocate for people getting back on Facebook.
I know.
Like, we're done with that. We need something else. We need something new.
That's
we
like,
need Facebook
Fair.
2, the sequel to
Fair.
Facebook.
Facebook too. No, that's a sign of the
Rat book.
times, is that we're like,
Rat book,
remember
yes.
Facebook? Remember?
I mean, like, you know, I think it's actually really interesting because the generation, like, 2 years... Alex, I don't know how old you are, but, like...
I think you're like the same age as us.
Okay, so yeah, 2 years
I'm
younger.
26.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we are all the same age. What I was saying is that, like, there's people, like, a couple years younger than us who, like, never had Facebook accounts in the first place. And, like, I mean, we could talk about how that makes Zuck desperate about, like, oh god, how do we get relevant again? But it's like, we were the last dregs of that piece of social media. Now everybody is on TikTok and Discord. Or something else that I don't know about. And that's okay.
I think it's just kind of a shame, at least for, like, the prevalence of Instagram and TikTok as, like, the sort of visual mediums being the most important things. Because, like, I do make webcomics. That is a visual medium, and it's very important that I have an outlet to post those. But the textual, just pure shit posting with no effort, no thoughts, like that feels like it needs a home in, like, in a way that Twitter really provides.
Again, can I offer you Tumblr
yes,
in this
yeah,
trying
yeah.
time? By the way, I mean this completely unsincerely. Do not get on Tumblr. It is 2022.
I'm only on Tumblr to write about it, and I have like 2 followers, and I don't post anything. So
Am I one of them? Do I
yes,
follow you?
You do, even though I don't post anything.
I made a Tumblr account in, like, 2014, and I did not understand how to use it or how you actually find posts or accounts that you like, and then I just gave up within, like, a day. So I probably could have tried a little harder, but it didn't.
I think that is still a problem on Tumblr, is that there's no discovery.
No, there is now.
Oh, wow.
They added a bunch of stuff in the last couple months, I believe. There's like a For You thing and your tags thing. So if you follow tags, then you'll get just like content from it. People are very like divided on whether they like this or not, because Tumblr's culture has always been very like, no, we follow the people we follow and we follow them in chronological order, and that's how we like it. God damn it. Back in my day. Anyway.
No one loves reverse chronology more than millennials.
I just want to see it in order, man. I
Yeah.
just want to see what's happening now, and then I want to see what's happening in the past.
Yeah, I do wish Twitter had chronology still, but instead I'm just getting a whole bunch of ads.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, what other social media sites do you think would benefit from rat verification?
All of them.
I think all of them. Yeah, I don't know if there's any particular one, but like I have tried to get verified on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. None of them have actually verified me in the past. And it's like, it is a big problem for people who have a big following and then are getting spam accounts pretending to be them. So like the old verification system did not really work. This solution does not work in any capacity. It's just making it way, way worse. But I think there needs to be some way that these sites actually go to creators and make sure that they have the ability to prevent spam, which really, for most people, you just can't.
And that solution should be a rat.
Yeah, it should be a rat. I think it's good.
I think the solution is a rat, even though, yes, somebody can then make a Twitter account and pretend to be you and have a rat. But, you know, I think the rat is a better solution than whatever Elon Musk is cooking up.
Right, we don't run the city, the rats do.
Yeah, and my hope is that the scammers and the bots just aren't smart enough or internet savvy enough to really understand the rat or to speak the rat.
Yeah, so
to
I guess,
perceive the rat.
like, to wrap things up, I mean...
Oh, to rat things up?
to
Sorry.
rat things up. Like, I think what's funny about rat verification and generally, like, other internet things you've done, like, we didn't talk about Jeb the Musical. That was a thing.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Jeb the Musical, which is a rewriting of Hamilton, except it's about Jeb Bush. Check it out. Good content.
It was very funny when it was written. I think it's a little bit cringe now. It's still a very good parody, but it's just like, in the musical, Trump wins and he kills Jeb, and it was funny because we wrote it in spring 2016.
Yeah.
And then it actually happened, not the Jeb being killed part, but it's not as funny anymore.
I mean, I think also generally, like, Hamilton used to be cool on the internet, and now Hamilton is kind of cringe.
Yeah.
But it was, you know, it was like 2016. It was good. But yeah, but I think in your shit posting, it's generally like, it's shit posting, but then there is something kind of behind it. Like in this case, the issue of like, does people putting a rat in their name actually prove their humanity and like help? But so where do you think rat verification will go from here? Are you just kind of riding the wave and seeing what happens?
Yeah, I think it probably has reached its peak, but what I'm hoping is that it doesn't just disappear. Like, I hope that the people who added the rats to their name, even if they're not stuck with it, I hope they keep it. Because, like, I'm going to keep the rat. I feel like the rat is great. I love the rat. And, like, I don't know how many people added the rats to their name, but it's entirely possible. I was looking at some tweets last night that more people are rat verified than actually paid for the new Twitter verification.
That's so
Incredible.
good. No,
Only 61,000 people paid for the new Twitter Blue, and at least like 20,000 people just from retweeting the rat verified tweet like added the rats, and I think a lot more added it and were just not connected with the tweet. So we could have more rat verifications than
And that's so funny. Even, I mean, it reached one of my coworkers at Alex, and like, I mean, I wrote this in my article about rat verification, but like, Alex doesn't know internet things. Like, he's very online, but I've explained, like, I explained Ligma to him. I've explained Ligma to, like, I explained Ligma on literally, like, 3 different podcasts, one of which was a BBC podcast, so you're welcome.
Wow. Amazing.
I explained My Immortal to him, so I was like, how does he know about the rat? But people know about it, and people are doing it, and I think it's just funny, and, like, yeah. Well, I'm currently stuck with it because verified people can't change their names right now. But I also think, speaking of that, one of my favorite things that happened on the internet this week was that Doja Cat, because she's verified, couldn't change her name. And her name was Christmas. And then she tweeted Elon Musk, like, help. And then he tweeted her, and then she changed her name to Fart.
You love to see it.
Yeah. There is a post going around that says she changed her name to Elon Musk, but I think that was doctored. But that is still funny in theory.
It was fake.
It's a good fake post, and I support whoever doctored it. I think sometimes lying is fun, actually.
As a person who frequently makes fake posts, I approve.
Okay.
Well, okay, if you're listening to this is your sign to go get rat verified.
Yeah.
By this I mean go log on to Twitter, unless you're not on Twitter, in which case do not log on to Twitter. We do not advocate for social media on this podcast.
We're just gonna become like a podcast about, I don't know, what is WoW of True without the internet? It's just Homestuck, but that's the internet.
But Homestuck is the internet. You can't have Homestuck
it's Supernatural.
without the
Supernatural's not the internet.
Oh god, that's horrible. No, we'll talk about how we went to yoga. It'll be great. We'll get guillotined.
I did go to yoga this morning.
I didn't.
We do sometimes go to yoga before recording, and it's the most millennial thing of all time, doing yoga before recording your podcast.
You know what I did this morning? I went to Twitter.
Hell yeah. Well, also, you're 3 hours behind us, so the day is still young.
Very true.
You have a lot of time to go to yoga. Just consider it.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Where can people find you other than at your local yoga class?
So you can find me at Tiny Snek Comics. That's SNEK, not SNAKE. You can find me at Tiny Snek Comics on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'll probably make a Mastodon account. We'll see if I migrate over there. But please check out the comics. Come over. Hang out with the rats.
Yeah, and we'll see you in Rach Aesthetics, a Facebook group that still exists.
Yeah, I'll see you there.
Okay, so I mentioned Tumblr during our previous conversation, and I was completely sincere about not being sincere that Alex should not get on Tumblr because you shouldn't get on Tumblr, but on the other hand, I was also completely sincere about you can now get 2 blue check marks, and by 2, I mean you can get up to 24 and possibly more.
Incredible. I really like this Tumblr gag, and as I'm over here on Twitter watching as like a fake Nintendo account that's verified, because now anybody can be verified. Like, I'm watching this Nintendo account post a picture of Mario giving everybody the finger, or like an insulin company tweeting that insulin is free now, which actually tanked the company's stock. And we're just watching absolute chaos unfold over on Twitter. And then here comes Tumblr being like, give us $8 and we'll give you not 1 but 2 blue check marks. What do they mean? They mean nothing. Life is meaningless.
They honestly deployed that so quickly that I was actually very impressed, because it was like within a day of the check mark, the $8 check mark, they were like, yo, on Tumblr, you can get 2 check marks. They're $7.99. And actually what's interesting is that this has actually sparked a conversation on Tumblr about whether it's ethical to buy the check mark or not, because people on Tumblr need to get a life. Because it's like, no, I'm dead serious, because like so there's like posts going around about like, if you have like $8 to spend on something meaningless, you should be like donating to somebody who actually needs that money. And then there's also like people like rebutting that, like, are you fucking crazy? It's $8, and also let people have joy in their lives.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like, clearly you enjoy using this very unprofitable microblogging platform. Give your favorite unprofitable microblogging platform $8 if you want. Yeah, that's another reason why I don't want to be on Tumblr in the year 2022, because it's just like, yeah, I agree. If you have disposable income, then you should donate to stuff when you can, but also, like,
it's $8. It's one banana, Michael.
I mean, like, $8 is a significant amount of money to people. Like, that can buy you a meal. That can buy you, like, several public transit rides. Like, it's not, like, nothing, but it's very possible to donate money to causes and also spend $8 on a
now,
checkmark.
like, so I did buy the check marks purely for scientific purposes. By this, I mean for the podcast. And because I thought it would be funny. So here's some facts about the check marks. They do not show up on mobile. So you are not even paying for check marks to be everywhere that you're on Tumblr. You're paying for them on desktop. Like I said earlier, you can stack them. However, for every 2 check marks that you need to pay $7.99. So effectively, if you want 24 check marks, that is 12 times you've bought it, which is 12 times $7.99, which is... What's 12 times 8? 64? Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's 60...
Wait.
No, 12 times 8 is 7...
No, it's 96.
8 times 8 is 64. It's been a while. I didn't go to law school for math. So that is like a lot of money that somebody has spent on check marks. I really enjoyed... Sorry, I'm going to pause here because I do need to read off a Tumblr post by Neil Gaiman. This is also kind of an interesting thing that's happening where people have been talking in writer Twitter and stuff about going into Tumblr, because writer Twitter has been talking about, like, oh god, Twitter's going down, where are we going? So it's a lot of people have been talking about, like, Mastodon, Discord. Some people have been talking about Tumblr. Everyone and their mother is making a newsletter. I have also made a newsletter. I'm not going to use it, but if you want to sign up for it in the hypothetical situation, I do have a newsletter. It's like tiny letter Isabel J. Kim. I don't know, look at my Twitter. You can tell how much I care about this. Contextually, I'm pulling up a screenshot of a Tumblr post by Neil Gaiman, like the official one. He's not verified in any way. We all just know it's him because he's been posting for years.
I love that. Yeah, it's literally Neil Gaiman and Will Wheaton.
They're just simply here. And oh, the other thing about this screenshot is that it is covered in crabs, because Emily bought me the crabs, and then I just crabbed my dashboard, and I'm in hell. They've worn off now.
We will get back to the crabs.
They've worn off
soon.
now, but someone has anonymously bought me more crabs, so I need to deploy those at some point. Anyway, this post says, did you hear about the new Tumblr checkmarks? If so, what are your thoughts? And Neil has replied, I think that Tumblr should make the blue check marks compulsory, but if you pay them $8, then you don't have to have one. That's fucking genius. He's right.
Neil Gaiman is right. Oh man, what a great time. There was also a John Green tweet that was like, Elon Musk buying Twitter is the equivalent of if I bought Tumblr in 2014.
He's kind of right.
And you know, I like that John Green has finally come around to the point where he can make jokes about the time when people bullied him on Tumblr and he deleted his account.
It only took him 8 years.
I still stand by my hot take of, I think that it's valid that John Green was upset, but also he should have just leaned into it.
I think if he had leaned into it, we would have loved him. That's still my take. Like, you shouldn't bully a man, but on the other hand, it was very funny. We've rehashed this before.
Yes. So I went viral on Tumblr.
You did go viral. I've also gone viral on Tumblr. It's been a big day for Tumblr and also for us. Tell us about how you went viral.
So we've talked on past episodes about how going viral on Tumblr is the literal most useless form of virality on the internet because no one does anything. Like, you go viral on Tumblr all the time and it does not impact our podcast. Sad.
Sad if true. Yeah, okay, sorry, go on.
When Tumblr announced the 2 checkmark thing, I published a post on TechCrunch.com called Tumblr's only viable business model is shitposting. I'm right. I have the data to back it up. So, as we know, Tumblr not doing well as a platform, does not make a lot of money. When they rolled out Post Plus, a subscription platform last year, people flipped a shit. We talked about it on the podcast. But meanwhile, thank you to my buddies at Sensor Tower, an app research firm, they gave me a list of between April when Tumblr Blaze was announced, which Tumblr Blaze is like, you promote a post, but people on Tumblr just use it to promote, like, copy pastas of My Immortal and shit like that.
People actually use it for their small businesses and stuff, too. We blazed our ad, and it actually did lead to, like, a tiny bump.
Hell yeah. But, yeah, so there's, like, Tumblr Blaze, and since Blaze was announced, the top 5 in-app purchases on Tumblr. First is ad-free browsing monthly. Second is blazing a post for $10. Third is ad-free browsing annual. And fourth Tumblr crabs. And then 5th is also Blaze.
I feel like we've talked about the crabs on here before. Have we talked about the crabs?
Basically, you can just send people crabs for $2.99 and they go on your dashboard, and then you just simply have crabs.
So it's based on the April Fool's gag where you could get crabs, and then crabs were very popular, so I guess they brought it back as like you can crab other people. You cannot crab yourself, which is the opposite of the verification thing where you could verify yourself with the blue check marks. You cannot do it to other people, but I think you should be able to do it to other people because I would like to, like, you know, whoa, blue check mark be upon ye.
I cannot emphasize enough that dashboard crabs are a more popular in-app purchase than subscriptions to Post Plus.
This completely tracks. Psychologically, it tracks.
Yeah.
Vibes-wise, it tracks. Do you have any thoughts on this? All I've got is on-the-ground experience. You've got data and facts.
I think I'm very right in my hot take that Tumblr can only make money through shitposting because, as we've discussed on the podcast before, people don't want to use Tumblr in the way that they use traditional social media sites. They don't want to, like, monetize on Tumblr, yet Tumblr needs to monetize in order to stay alive. So I actually think it's very, very smart for them to do things like letting people gift each other crabs and, like, letting people buy 2 blue check marks as a bit, because people are paying for that stuff and that's how they're making money, and they're doing it in a way that doesn't feel like they're alienating their user base, because, like, people think it's funny to send their friends crabs. People think it's funny to use Tumblr Blaze to promote their internet culture podcast or their fan fiction or, like, whatever. It doesn't
fit the patterns of traditional social media. No, like, I mean, I agree with you. Okay, 2 things. I think you're completely right about this. And I think part of the problem is that Tumblr has been a wasteland and has been a, like, almost an incubator of people being insane for so long before they finally hit upon this, oh, we gotta shitpost our way into, like, making money thing. And because of that, the Tumblr user base doesn't act regular compared to other social media sites. And they've basically skipped the whole era of, like, gradually being acclimated to advertising, like advertising that's targeted. And because of that, they're very resistant to it. However, they are not resistant to crabs. And the other thing about Tumblr is that it's a very, like, community-centered social media platform in a way that's very much about, like, interactions. And the reason I say this is, like, one of the most popular genres of Tumblr posts is where somebody will say something funny, someone will respond, someone else will respond, and you get, like, a build-up of, like, here's, like, all the bits until you get to the punchline. And because of that, I think shitposting and something that, like, allows people to make that interaction works really well. The other thing I'm saying here is that it's been really interesting for me personally watching you go viral on Tumblr. And I would actually not even characterize this as, like, going super viral yet. It's like, I think the last time I saw it was at, like, 6,000 notes, but then there's also been multiple posts floating around. Because it's really funny seeing the people who are posting this being like, oh god, we're being perceived. And then me reading this post going, yeah, that's Amanda. She was in Arctic Monkeys Tumblr in, like, 2012? She's from here. The OP of article is not talking about this as, like, that much of an outsider, you guys. But I think Tumblr's reaction to getting articles written about them is very much, when you pick up a rock and then all the bugs, like, scatter. You know what I mean? Like those little isopods and stuff. Like, that's how it kind of feels. The other thing that's really funny is when they post a paragraph where you put Super Hulock and Gideon the Ninth in quotes, as if these are not things you know about that I've talked to you about. That I'm like, yeah, so this is what's going down.
Okay, I mean, well, so there was a lot of comments on Tumblr about this particular dig in which I said, if you're looking to jump ship from Twitter as Elon Musk gets settled in as its new owner, I hate to break it to you, Tumblr may not be your saving grace, unless if you're a former Super Hulock fan whose new favorite book is Gideon the Ninth, in which case, you're probably still on Tumblr anyway. But Super Hulock and Gideon the Ninth are in quotes simply because Gideon the Ninth is a book and we put books in quotation marks, and Super Hulock,
No, you were right to
I don't know what
you
to tell
correct. I will say that I think you should have said Homestuck fan whose new favorite book is Gideon the Ninth, because you would have raised a lot of alarm bells, because these two pieces of media are, like, directly connected.
I should have done that. It's so fun to troll the entire user base of Tumblr, which is what I feel like I'm doing when I write about Tumblr, and then people, like, post the article and they're like, How does she
Wait,
know
the other
this?
thing that I think is funny about this, I was thinking about, is the Tumblr user base has been talking a really big game about, like, we gotta keep people out, we need to bully them off Tumblr, we don't want, like, real people and Twitter users coming. But the moment a journalist is like, yeah, you guys like Super Hulock and enjoy Gideon the Ninth now, everyone, like, loses their shit. They are so fucking weak. Everyone on that site is weak as shit. You are all going to fold. I'm saying this as one of you.
I mean, I think what's also funny about internet culture journalism now is that most internet culture journalists I know are like people in their 20s or like people that are older that just happen to be very online and know their shit. But like, we all grew up on Tumblr. Like, I have a group chat with a bunch of internet culture journalists where we talk about shit that happened on Glee Tumblr in like 2012. Because, of course, I was also on Glee Tumblr because, as I've said before on the podcast, I was part of the A Very Potter Musical to Glee pipeline.
That's like the chuggiest thing you've said.
Oh yeah. There was a post that went viral on Tumblr recently that said something like Glee is like the Obama era, in which at the time you were like, wow, look at the diversity. And then when you look back, you're like, wow, look at the war crimes.
This is yeah. I don't know. I went viral on Tumblr for my bad wizard post. Again.
What was your wizard post?
I'll just read the post first, and then I will explain the context to it, because the context is actually a very Tumblr culture post, which is why I don't think it's gotten reposted anywhere yet. But it's, when did we all start accepting the Wizard RP as a regular part of the site? And there's a couple of things about this post that have been very frustrating. First of all, it's almost at 50,000 notes, which is very annoying because it provides no benefit to my life and it just clogs up my notifications. The second part of this is that this is kind of a response that to all of the wizard accounts on Tumblr. Now, let me explain the wizard accounts. It's very simple. Sometimes people like to pretend to be a wizard and cast spells at each other in their reblogs. It's normal. It's regular. For a while there was a banned spell list going around that included Ketamine Ape. And no, I feel like that's the best one. We can just talk about Ketamine Ape. You cannot cast Ketamine Ape. It is banned by the Wizard Council.
What does Ketamine Ape do, and who is the Wizard Council?
The Wizard Council. Next question. The wizards on Tumblr are part of a bit. And the third part of this that's very annoying is that people are assuming that, I don't like the wizards because they're taking my post to be, the wizard RP, derogatory. But, man, I'm here for the wizards.
You're literally writing a book about a wizard.
I'm literally the king wizard appreciator. My book is about wizards. All I do is post about wizards on tumblr.com. Buddy, I'm in the pit with you, but people don't see my original, blog, so they don't know that. The other thing that's funny is that I reblogged my post when it started getting notes, was oh god damn it, there's people here now. What did I cast? I cast something on everyone. I cast Chain Lightning, because I am also part of the Wizard RP. That's the other thing here, is that I'm indulging in the Wizard RP. Half the notes on it are just people pretending to get electrocuted. That I like.
So, what I don't understand about the Wizard RP is there a list of spells? What are the rules of this magic world? Is there world building? Are there laws of physics that govern the magic system?
Okay,
what's happening?
The answer here is that it is simply we are playing wizards on the playground. I think ground zero of this is the post that had the banned spell list. A while back. Okay, I will. Oh, yeah, no. So the Wizard Council. So Normal Horoscopes posted in 2021.
Oh, I know Normal Horoscopes.
Yeah,
I interviewed them once.
The Wizard Council 2021 banned spell list. By the way, this is not what I thought I'd be talking about on a podcast today. Unending Penis Barrage. Summon Ketamine Ape. Greater Baja Blast.
Oh, that's one you're gonna violate.
And then Transmute Idaho and Homoerotic Vortex. Oh, and then the reblog to it that got really popular is Warlock Union 2021 permissible spell list, and it lists the exact same spells. And then Normal Horoscopes replies with Wizard Council unbanned spell list 2021. Eradicate Warlock. And so I think this kind of unlocked the doors to everyone pretending to be wizards for a while.
I love that.
Yeah, the Wizard RP. It's regular.
The Wizard... I love, this is a MMO WRP, massive multiplayer online wizard roleplay.
So I feel like that's really the only reason to be on Tumblr in 2022 is to pretend to be a wizard.
I kind of want to be on Tumblr in 2022.
Oh, so the wizards got you.
Kinda. I mean, I also feel like if I were on Tumblr in 2022, I would be completely anonymous. I would say, my name is Amanda, but that's about it. I wouldn't out myself as Amanda, the person who writes about how you like Gideon the Ninth on TechCrunch.com.
No, like, I mean, like, I think that's a good thing about Tumblr, though, is that it's, like, last bastions of anonymous internet platforms where you can still, like, make connections. Because that's why I like being there, because, like, I mean, I'm, like, a lawyer, and I write fiction with my real human name. And it's, like, sometimes I just want to post about the Wizard RP, you know?
Yeah. I feel like I have that to an extent in some Discord servers I'm in, but in these Discord servers, I'm not really secretive about who I am. Not that people really care, but I'm not, like, actively trying to be anonymous. I'm just kind of, like, fucking around and talking about the dungeons as well as the dragons. But there should be a Wizard RP channel. We should make a Wizard RP channel in the WoW
God,
True
yeah.
Discord.
Anyway, subscribe to the WoW True Patreon, because we are going to create the Wizard RP channel. So if you want to be a wizard, now's the time.
But, I mean, I lament the idea that there won't be places like Tumblr and Twitter where you can just kind of, like, be anonymous if you want and just kind of shitpost and make friends. Because Discord is fun, but you have to know what you're getting into. Like, you don't just kind of find a random Discord and hang out with 20 cool people. Like, I don't know, like, all the Discords that I enjoy being in are, like, fandom related, or everybody is brought together over their shared appreciation of a certain piece of media, but then people organically just start talking about their lives in addition to the media.
I think what always happens is that, this has been my experience on Discord, and I was a way heavier user of Discord and Discord servers like 2 years ago, where you'll join a Discord server because everyone's like obsessed with this thing, and people will talk about that thing, and then a splinter Discord or chat will be created out of like you and like 4 other people, where you're just like regular friends now. And that's how you make friends on the internet in 2020. Not 2022. I haven't made new friends on the internet in a while. I need to message some people back. Not just on the internet, in life. Sorry, that got like existential. Let's talk about something else.
Yeah, let's talk about eating 40 rotisserie chickens.
Moving away from the internet and into real life, because this is a real life thing that happened. I guess this is also an internet thing, but I feel like if you eat 40 whole rotisserie chickens, to me that feels like too solid an event to exist only on the internet. I don't know how to explain this.
Yes. So basically, this guy named Alexander Tominsky, who is from Philadelphia, this happened in Philadelphia, of course, just did a thing in which he was like, I'm going to eat a rotisserie chicken every day for 40 days. And the 40th day was last week, and he had an event near the Walmart in South Philly, I believe, in which he just ate the 40th chicken in front of a bunch of people, and they cheered him on, and it was great.
Hello, my name is Jamie Lee Jocelyn, and I am a friend of the WoW If True Pod, and I am also a resident of South Philadelphia, and I happened to be present for the eating of the 40th rotisserie chicken last weekend. I also happen to teach a sports narratives class at the University of Pennsylvania, which is offered through the creative writing program. So I'm always looking at things through the lens of sports and fandom and culture and community. And I would say that at this event, all of those things intersected, even though you might not think of eating a rotisserie chicken or eating multiple rotisserie chickens days in a row as a sport. I would argue that this was a feat of endurance. And not only was it a feat of endurance, it was a feat of endurance that involved community and really brought people together. This day happened to be the day after both the Phillies lost the World Series and the Philadelphia Union lost their national championship. And people in Philly were feeling that. Philly sports fans feel things pretty hard, for better and for worse. And as I walked to that abandoned pier near Walmart that Sunday late morning, everybody was just kind of quietly heading there. A woman looked over at me and said, "This is normal." And I said, "Yeah, totally normal thing to do on a Sunday." And so it was kind of quiet leading up to it. And then as we got towards the end of the pier and the crowd had already gathered and the chicken was already being consumed, the mood really picked up. And I think people just like to have something to cheer for. They like to support somebody. Really, like, this proves that they like to support people literally doing anything. and they like to kind of bond with each other over that. There were chants. It sounded like we were at a sporting event. There were chants, he ate 40 chickens, he ate 40 chickens, like that one. There were other chants. For instance, when the gentleman's lady friend approached him at the table, people were chanting, chicken wife, chicken wife. So they were just anyone and anything. They were all for. People were sitting on each other's shoulders to get better views. There were children there. There were dogs there. There were people saying, I might get myself a rotisserie chicken after this. There were people holding signs. One of them said, make daddy proud, number 40. I was actually thinking during this moment of the film Rocky, where, of course, an underdog Philadelphia native takes on, a favorite and really just wants to go the distance. That's what Rocky says. All I want to do is go the distance. And that's what this felt like. All he wanted to do was go the distance with his 40 chickens. And I was imagining in my mind that as the 40th chicken was finally consumed, that the Rocky theme song might swell up somehow in some magical way. And instead it was, as many know at this point, Bruce Springsteen's Streets of Philadelphia, which has a markedly, kind of more somber tone to it. It's kind of about enduring. Bruised and battered, after all, is the line in the opening of that song. But it worked, and the crowd embraced the victory. The crowd felt the accomplishment, and I imagine when a lot of people left that pier that day, they might have gotten their own rotisserie chicken, and they probably also just felt a little better about where they live and who they live near. Thanks.
So I just love that chicken guy has found his way into the Ivy League curriculum.
Honestly, it's what he deserves. I cannot stress enough that this event is that he was sitting at a table in a parking lot with the rotisserie chicken while just zillion people cheered him on. That does feel like sports to me. That feels like endurance.
No, I mean, it is like endurance, and I feel like it's closer to performance art than sports.
But I mean, what is sports if not performance art?
Oh, interesting. I like it.
Have you ever read 17776, What Football Will Look Like in the Future?
No, but I feel like it's been recommended to me.
It's a really interesting piece of internet fiction, and it is also a very interesting meditation on what is sport? What is the human desire for play? And I feel like the chicken incident is very much reminiscent of that piece of media. I just do you think he ate anything else other than a chicken? Probably, right?
I don't know. I mean, the thing about the rotisserie chicken is that it's a lot of food, but if that's all you eat for a day, that's not good for you, just in the sense of you shouldn't be eating only one food a day. You need more nutrients than nutrients from one single food.
Okay, so here's my thoughts on this. I have a lot of questions. The first is that so he ate that last chicken in one sitting. Did he eat every chicken in one sitting? As if he was some sort of snake and this is his one meal of the day? Because I don't actually know what's a regular amount of chicken to eat in a day. It's not this much. It's way less than this much, but it feels like he should be at least having some sort of multivitamin, right? I'm just saying 40 days is a lot of chicken.
Yeah, I don't think it was you can only eat the chicken. I think it was just that he was I'm going to do this every day.
At what day do you think he got tired of it?
Day 4.
How many days of chicken could you eat? Now you have to eat the whole chicken every day. Just, keep that in mind.
I could probably do 2 or 3 days.
I was thinking I could probably do 3 days and I would give up.
Rotisserie chicken's very good.
I like rotisserie chicken. I feel like that's a regular human thing to say, but that's a lot of chicken.
I feel like even when I batch cook stuff for myself, generally around day 3, I'm I never want to eat whatever I meal prepped ever again.
Do you think he's ever going to eat chicken again?
Well, funny you should say that. I brought up PETA in our conversation with Alex because PETA reached out to the chicken guy and they wanted to encourage him to go vegan, and the chicken guy responded, "I can understand why my project would inspire you to reach out to me. At the moment, I cannot commit to any food challenges. However, I understand the symbolism of the offered challenge, and it does have me thinking about the cause and message your organization stands by. To counteract the 40 chickens I consumed, I plan to never eat chicken again." I think what he said is a good point, because I think a lot of the time we think in black and white terms of like, I must go vegan to save the planet, which is a noble pursuit, but also sometimes that's not feasible for all people. And I think thinking like, hey, maybe I'm gonna learn how to cook some alternative protein sources instead of eating meat all the time is maybe a bit more accessible of a way to think about like how our consumption of meat impacts the universe. But also, like, I don't know, I mean, do what you want. Eating is weird and personal, and like, if you eat a ton of meat, you're not a big corporation that is burning fossil fuels all the time, so that's good.
This was like a very sincere answer to this guy's whole situation.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he was really sincere in his response to PETA, which, I mean, PETA doesn't always have the best track record of, like, I mean, as we discussed with Alex, they're just kind of like, you said an animal, we're here. Like, they tried to turn Rat Verified into, like, stop testing on rats, which had nothing to do with it, which, yeah, I mean, like, animal testing doesn't sound great, but, like, that's not what we're talking about here. Like, the rat is literally...
fictional.
No rats were harmed. The rat is an emoji. In this case, yes, this guy ate 40
chickens were harmed here. Like, let's not get it fucking twisted. 40 chickens did die for this.
But also, like, I don't know, like, I had a breakfast burrito after yoga, because that's how I live my life. I go to yoga, get a breakfast burrito, record a podcast, and I don't know, PETA's not knocking down my door like, damn, you ate these eggs.
Well, that's because you're not going viral for eating those eggs. I don't know, my thoughts on this are very much just like, ethical consumption under capitalism is mad fucked anyway. Just like, try and be thoughtful about where you source things if that's within your capability, you know? Like, whatever. Everyone's trying to do their best. My other thoughts are like, don't eat 40 rotisserie chickens, but also, Jesus Christ, I'm so impressed.
Yeah.
What could you eat 40 of?
I could eat a piece of mochi every day for 4 days.
Okay. Something that's not like a grain, because I could do like a bowl of rice every day or something, or like a bowl of pasta. Mm-hmm. But I feel like that's easy.
An apple every day.
Honestly, you're kind of right. That's a good option.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably eat an apple every day, but also I think I would get tired of it because there's so many good fruits that I want to eat.
When I was in middle school, I ate the exact same lunch for 3 years, except for when it was like pizza day. And it was a peanut butter jelly sandwich on sourdough bread and a cut up apple, like 5 days a week for 3 years. And I'm just saying, I could crush it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
On that note, if you like this episode, tell a friend. Word of mouth is how we grow. Thank you to all of our patrons, and shout out specifically to Zoe, Bray, Andre, Thea, Brian, and Gabriel. If you want your name in the above or in our Twitter header, slide right into our Patreon at patreon.com/wowtrue. Shout out to Allison Mills, beloved audio editor, and to graphic designer and Canva warlock Eric Silver, who made our logo, and Sam Reiser, who made our podcast music, and introducing the lovely Tessa Farrow, who is now transcribing for us. We now have transcriptions of stuff on our site. They will be uploaded as we are able to make them, and by we mean Tessa, who is doing her best and doing such a good job. That sounded condescending. I didn't mean it in a condescending way. You can find us on Twitter as @WowTruePod and Instagram and Facebook as @WowTrue. Had your 15 seconds of internet fame, have opinions on eating 40 chickens, slide right into our Twitter DMs, or I don't know, man, everything's imploding. Send a raven and tell us about it. Until next time, let's get weird on the internet.